Hello, I'm Jay, owner of Volunteer Audio in Oliver Springs, Tennessee, making a quick video to show you this beautiful 2023 Roadglide Ultra Limited in Atlas Silver. And we're going to do a huge audio upgrade on it. This is one of our most popular choices or options that people pick to do in their bike. We're doing the Hertz SP4.900. That's that huge 2,000 watt peak, 1,000 watt RMS amp. We're going to be using the factory GTS radio. We're going to flash it. We're also going to flash on Apple CarPlay, so that'll work without having to have a headset connected. We're going to use the Hertz SV165 Neo 6.5s in the tour pack and the SX165 Neos in the fairing, and this thing is going to be extremely loud and clear. Everything that you've been missing out of your bike, this is going to be when we're done. So hang out, we'll go over the build, we'll show you the highlights, and let you hear what it sounds like at the end. This video is brought to you by VolunteerAudio.com, your #1 source for all things Harley Davidson audio. From individual radios, speakers, and amps to complete plug-and-play amp and speaker systems, we've got you covered. And once you've ordered your package from Volunteer Audio, it includes lifetime tech support. And we have the very best step-by-step installation video so you can install it yourself and save money. All right, so let me go over each thing you're going to get when you buy your plug-and-play Hertz Stage 4 package for your Roadglide or Street Glide Ultra Limited from Volunteer Audio. First off, you're going to get an amplifier. As we talked, this is going to get the SP4.900. This is that super powerful 2,000 watt peak amplifier. Now, when you get it from Volunteer Audio, it's going to come completely pre-wired, completely plug and play. It's as simple as unplugging the stock radio and plugging this in between the factory connectors. We add an additional connector in case you add 6x9s or rear speakers, because this Ultra Limited won't have a rear backbone connector from the factory. That's already added on. And we've already mounted it to a Roadglide specific amp plate. So we're going to pull the stock radio. You'll see just in a few minutes, you'll watch us slide this amp under the radio and bolt it in place right where a factory amplifier would have been, and the best place to put your amp. So nothing's going to take up any bag space. We're also going to do the SX165 Neo 6.5s in the fairing. That's the 6.5 inch with the tweeter in the middle. Now in the back on tour pack bikes, I love the Hertz SV165 mid bass. So your tour pack is ported from your pods into that tour pack. Gives you really good mid bass response. We're also not going to add a lot of extra treble. Believe me, these are going to be plenty bright enough and plenty of treble to give you the clarity you're after. And this speaker is going to give you a lot of mid bass and extra bass that we're always lacking in our Harleys. So 2 pairs of 6.5s, a new set of grills for the tour pack. It's going to look great. Let's get this thing apart, show you how we do it. All right, so I've got a new face with me tonight. I've got Scotty with me, and a lot of you have talked to him. You're familiar on our sales line, our tech line. Scotty's been working with us quite some time now. He's here just refreshing and helping us do an install. Robbie will also be here helping us tonight. So just want to let you know who you're seeing as we wander around and tear this bike apart. All right, so we're about 10 minutes in, and with 3 guys that know what they're doing, this bike is blown apart. But before they pulled the radio, I want to go ahead and flash the stock radio and talk to you about it for a minute. So if you're going to use your factory GTS radio, you have to take a techno research tool and you have to flash it. We're going to flash it for a 6-speaker, 2-amp flash. That's going to do 4 things at one time. It's going to correct the terrible factory EQ in the radio. It's also going to make that EQ where it doesn't change when the bike is running. It's also going to turn on rear speakers if you didn't already have rear speakers. And we're also going to turn on Apple CarPlay while we're in here as well. The fourth thing it actually did, though, was it attenuates the radio down. It turns it down to the proper input signal for our amplifier. And remember, you bought your amplifier at Volunteer Audio. It's completely plug and play. We've already set all your gains and all your filters, but we did it for this flash. So if you don't do this, it's not going to sound right. You can go to technoresearch.com to find a local techno research dealer to see about having them flash it, but you can also rent that tool from Volunteer Audio. We make it very easy. We send you out a tool with a license. When you're done, you just use the return label, send it back to us. But I'm going to get this thing flashed, and we're going to continue working on this bike. All right, so Robbie and Scotty very quickly got these front pods out. And I want to talk to you for a second about the speakers that are in there. So here we have our factory Harley 5 1/4 inch speaker. It's absolutely tiny. They put a big flange, so at least we can put a 6.5 in it. Now, if you buy the wrong speakers for your Roadglide, you're going to find out they don't fit in your pod. You got to cut holes and you got to modify it to get them to fit. When you buy from Volunteer Audio, we've already thought of all of that. And we only sell you the correct speakers. Motorcycle speakers that are waterproof and have neodymium magnets like these Hertz SX165 Neos. They're going to drop in here without any modification. They're going to fit perfect and use all the factory hardware. And at the same time, we get a much bigger speaker than we had factory. Larger magnets, more power handling, better clarity. Everything about this speaker is far, far superior to what we took out, and that's exactly why you're doing it. Now, before you put your speaker in, I want you to take a pair of pliers. I want you to squeeze each one of these terminals so that they're good and tight. We don't want them to come loose. We don't want you to have to pull your bike back apart because you didn't take a few seconds and squeeze the terminals back together. Now, the clear one is going to be your positive. I'm going to push it on our speaker. We're going to make sure it goes on, and we can't easily pull it off. And this larger black one is going to be the negative. Those are on there now. I'm going to drop it in place. I'm going to have the guys actually put the screws back in this one, do the other one, and we're going to start going back together. All right, so I want to show you just how easy the amplifier goes in on a Roadglide. When you get it from Volunteer Audio, it's going to be pre-mounted to the plate. We've already put it at the exact location. Yes, it is secured to here with a huge piece of industrial Velcro, and you can't pull it apart if you wanted to, but we throw 2 more zip ties around it just to make sure that nothing ever comes loose. We've got our headlight out, we've got our radio out, we've pulled our speaker pods. If you want to see step-by-step how to do this, go to our website and look up the step-by-step videos. But our amp is going to slide under where the radio goes, behind the headlight. As it slides in, this little part here is going to lip over this framework under the radio. We've got 2 bolts going to secure both sides at the back. And just that easy, we've got an amp in place. All right, so same scenario we had in the front, in the back. We've got this tiny, way too small, way too cheaply built factory speaker, but it wasn't getting any power. Now that we've got that huge Hertz amp, we're sending a ton of power. We're gonna be using a Hertz SPL Show SV165 Neo. Now inside this port, or inside this pod, there is a port into this bag. So this is gonna work as an enclosure. It's gonna give us really good bass. Really excited to hear it at the end. We do this all the time. It always sounds amazing. But we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna use a pair of pliers. We're gonna squeeze these a little tighter. We're gonna make sure we put the silver one on our positive. We're gonna put the gold one on the negative. And then even then, at the end, we're gonna do a polarity test. We're gonna make sure they're right because Harley is notorious for messing with me and pinning things backwards so that when I'm done, the speakers are out of phase. Same thing happens to you too. So check out our speaker polarity test videos, but you'll also see later when I test it on this one, we'll see how it goes. All right, so factory, you have 4 little rubber bushings and you had some very fine thread screws that went into them. Now, as they got tight, it swelled that rubber and it secured the speaker in place. Now, when we put a higher output speaker like we're doing now, and we reuse those, we have a tendency to see those pull out and you lose the speaker going down the road. So we always recommend that when you get your speaker in place, that you rotate it slightly and put the screws that come with the speaker straight into the plastic. By doing so, you're not gonna lose the speaker going down the road and you're not gonna lose a grill either. so we are lightning fast. We got the bike back together. It is playing. And the last thing we do before we listen to music is we turn on and we go to Volunteer Audio's YouTube channel and we go to our Polarity test track. We play our Polarity test track. It's going to sound like a bunch of pops, just little clicks and pops. We take our Polarity tool and we check our polarities. We've got 3 reds and 1 green on that speaker. Same on the other, so they match. Let's check our rears. All right, so we just made sure that all of our speakers are all firing the same way. They're all working together to give us the best mid-bass and full sound. We don't care if we get 3 red and 1 green flash or 3 green and 1 red, as long as all of our speakers are doing the same thing and working together. So we passed that test. Now it's time to listen to some music. All right, so if you've seen our other builds, you know on YouTube we cannot play regular music. We have to play copyright-free music, but I think you get the idea, just how loud and clear they can be, how good the bass sounds. Let me play you something. It's going to be pretty loud. Let's see how it turns out as far as sound goes and see what you think. Super loud, super clear, no problem. You're gonna be able to hear this bike over the wind, over the engine, whatever speed you're going. It also sounds very full though, so not only is it loud, it sounds good as well. Some systems are just loud. That's not our goal at Volunteer Audio. We want it to sound musically correct, very clear, and enjoyable to listen to. So you're listening to your entire playlist, all your songs, versus trying to find that one that sounds good on your bike. If you want your bike to sound like this one, or if you want to call us and talk about an upgrade that you're planning to do on your bike, reach out to us at 1-844-30-AUDIO. You can see all our plug-and-play packages at volunteeraudio.com, and definitely like this video and subscribe to our channel to see the latest in motorcycle audio. We'll show you the latest products as they come out, we'll show you how to install them, and then we'll show you the best way to use them so that you get the most out of your purchase. When you like this video, YouTube's gonna move it up in search results. It helps us and we appreciate you doing that. And if you got any questions, definitely comment below. We're quick to answer your questions. But most of all, we'd love to see you. Give us a call, make an appointment, come in. We'll do the install for you. We'll get to meet you. We enjoy getting to hear your stories, checking out your bikes. If you wanna do this yourself, maybe you don't wanna travel all the way to Tennessee, we ship it to you. It'll be completely plug and play. All the gains set, all the filters set. We'll rent you the tool to flash your stock radio or sell you the SoundStream radio to go in with no flash needed. It's very, very easy, and following our step-by-step videos, I'm sure you could do it and save a bunch of money on labor too. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, God bless.